Diocese of Baturi in the East region. It is in this forest that for 3 years, the project for the accompaniment of the Federation of Community Forests of the Kadey in the process of the obtention of the Certificate of Legality and Commercialization of Wood in the framework of the Voluntary Partnership Accord signed between Cameroon and the European Union saw the light of day. The project, piloted on the field by CAFAD and its partners who are the Network of Community Forests and Kodas Baturi, have carried out much to ameliorate the functioning of the Federation.
CAFAD, that is the African Center for Applied Forestry Research and Development, has been the project leader, and the other partners were the method of Cameroon Community Forestry Network and Kodas Caritas Baturi. As far as the activities implemented are concerned, we started with an inspection workshop here in Yaoundé, during which all the stakeholders concerned with the project came together and identified risks related to the project and proposed mitigation measures. After that, now we continue with the information and sensitization of the project. We went to Baturi and passing to Bertois, and then with the communities we sensitized them on the project, and then we reiterated to them that they have all to gain by producing legal wood, and then that is what it was in continuation with what we did during project elaboration. So after this, we embark on capacity building in different aspects, notably on the text governing the Federation of Community Forests, on revenue and conflict management, because you know, when revenue start entering in the community, they enter with conflicts. So we train the communities in conflict prevention and also in conflict management. We also train the communities on regulatory text governing the exploitation of community forest. We train them on the use of the machinery which was brought to them in the framework of the project, notably the wood transformation unit machinery, the wood exploitation machinery method of chainsaws and mobile saws. We also train them in the drying of wood, and we also train them in the transformation of wood.
CAFAD and its partners have permitted the community to reunite all conditions for obtaining commercialization and legality certificate for the exploitation and marketing of wood. Certificates which have permitted the signing of a convention with Camwood.
We can say that the convention with Camwood is the first fruit of legality, because Camwood is a company which deals only in legal wood. So when they learned that there was a Federation of Community Forests in Baturi which produces legal wood, they came and then signed a convention with them with very, very interesting prices, because for some forest species, the cubic meter is, they buy the cubic meter at 280,000 CFA francs, whereas at first the communities were selling their wood very, very cheap. Some species, I mean, the average price was around 7,000 CFA francs per cubic meter.
Je dirais que c'était une manne qui était tombée dans la Kadey.
I will say it is manna that has fallen in Kadey because the community has suffered. Guys came and seized wood. Some even proposed 1,000 francs or 500 francs for a cubic meter of wood. Now we have the forest communities, 27 of them. The project came through CAFAD. It struggled enormously. It advocated to the European Union. Through this support, really, things are good. Here we are in the factory. You can see that it is really good.
C'était de merveilles.
In an innovative process, if my memory serves me right, we have not seen a company of this nature being put in place. Go to Baturi and you will see a whole wood transformation unit.
The project has also helped to ameliorate the capacity of production, transport, and the transformation of wood in the Diocese of Baturi.
With legality certificates, the community shall sell far better their wood, be it at national or international level. They shall also avoid problem with the forestry administration, which is against illegal logging. With APV-FLEGT in the communities, there is also increase in revenue, and who say revenue increase also says increase in achievement. There are communities who have built bridges, some have dug wells, and then there is also a community who has equipped its equipment hall, community hall with a satellite dish and a television set, and then they watched directly the African Cup of Nations, which was won by the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. So they watched the cup directly as any other citizen in any town. And then this reduces rural exodus, because at first you will see the youth in the villages went to town because they have to go there and they watch television.
Living and working conditions have been ameliorated for the population who get the major portion of their revenue from their forests. The conditions for obtaining a commercialization and legality certificate of wood have enabled the exploiters to ameliorate the commercialization of wood and to move from price takers to price makers.
When you look at the achievements which are already in the field, you will realize that the community passed from price takers to price makers, because at first the crooked operators were coming, and then they were coming and imposing the prices to the communities. But today the communities are the one going to negotiate the price of their wood. You also have job creations, because at first the operators were coming and then the community were only spectators. But today the communities are at all levels of forest exploitation, from forest inventory to the transportation of products, passing through the felling of trees, the sowing, the skidding, and also the loading of products in their own trucks, because the European Union has given them 2 trucks, one for the skidding in the field, another one from the transportation of their products right to the selling points here in Yaoundé and in Douala. With the European Union funding, the communities have a whole wood transformation unit in Baturi with all the equipments, and then they also have equipment to exploit the forest, notably the chainsaws and mobile saws, and with that, that will permit them to exploit their forest themselves.
All these actions would have been impossible without the financial partnership of the European Union, who subvented the project at a sum of €1,472,145. Technical partners who are the RFT, Kodas Baturi, and Asfoka put all their expertise at the disposal of the project.
You first have the financial partner, which is the European Union, which has confidence in the national civil society to give this substantial funding, which has concrete results in the field. As concerns the technical partners, you have the Cameroon Community Forestry Network and Kodas Baturi. They contributed for the smooth implementation of the project.
At the end of 3 years, the results on the field are palpable. The communities are better armed on the management of revenue and conflicts.
Juridique des entités
Entities were put in place, and they also trained the people in the management of conflict and revenues from the community forest. Secondly, they trained technicians and aides in the villages. We received a lot of gifts from the EU, like cars for transport.
The first lesson learned with this project is that to succeed with a community forest, it must be managed as an enterprise. And then the management of the community forest as an enterprise is another school that the community have to attend. The second lesson learned is that with little support, the communities can be in line with VPA-FLEGT requirements, because people thought that only big forest companies can embark in VPA-FLEGT. Community can also succeed there. The third lesson is that with little means, the communities can take their destiny at hand. The community used to be only spectators, but with little means, they are now actors of their own development. They can contribute to their development without waiting for external actors by using the forest resources around them to fight against poverty. The last lesson learned is that VPA-FLEGT cannot solve the problem of wood wastage during exploitation. During forest inventory, for example, only the useful height of the tree is measured, the height from which the volume is calculated. Big branches and other parts are left. We are in discussion with the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife to see how this wood wastage can be valorized.
3 production units and 1 wood transformation unit have been obtained, and also legality and commercialization certificates for about 75% of members of the Federation have been acquired. In the meantime, more is still left to do for the total empowerment of the population and an optimized and durable exploitation of this community forest.
We are helping, training and assisting them with our team. We quickly realized that it is not about training the communities and supporting them, but doing so right to the end.
This is the opportunity for me to thank very sincerely the European Union on behalf of the consortium method of CARFAT, Cameroon Community Forestry Network, and Kodas Caritas Baturi. The European Union, which has had confidence in Cameroon National Civil Society with this substantial funding, which has concrete results in the field. But this does not mean that we are finished with our achievement, because the community enterprise which had been set up in Baturi is a baby which had been born and which needs support to grow, to work, and then I can even say run. And I therefore take this opportunity to invite other partners in development to come and join us so that we can make of community forestry a real tool to fight against poverty.